Hi, my name is Lara and I'm here to talk about the list project that I've created and its implications with consumer behaviour. In essence, this project consists of creating a list of bucket list type activities to do with friends or complete in a short period of time. This can be as simple as having a picnic, going on school events or sightseeing. So I started this project in 2020 with this book ending in 2022 with a self-improvement goal in mind. I really want to push myself and be social and more active before high school finished, and in the process create a fun record of memories I can look back on in the future. I've always been a creative person and I enjoy getting involved with the arts, so it comes to no surprise scrapbooking is right up my alley. Theories of motivation are important in understanding consumer behaviour. Extrinsic and intrinsic motivators play a significant role in behaviour and the human experience. Extrinsic motivation refers to the drive towards external stimuli or outcomes such as food, social status, money or praise, whereas intrinsic motivation refers to internal drivers where the activity of the behaviour itself is the outcome. This can be determined by an individual's behaviour on a daily basis to long-term goals and desires. Modern Western culture has seen a heavy emphasis on the individual and their well-being, encouraging personal health, well-being and enjoyment. This encourages intrinsic motivation towards hobbies and purchases to make the self feel good. In this case, my enjoyment of scrapbooking and intrinsic drive to satisfy my creativity. I use the time spent scrapbooking for myself even though I could be doing other productive tasks. Not only does it satisfy my personal enjoyment, but it is a method for me to deal with stress and other negative emotions I may be experiencing. Often I update my book when I have some downtime in the evening or before I go to bed as a way to wind down. It's also been really effective as a way to deal with stresses, and when I'm just feeling down in general, I'm able to look back on the photos as I'm scrapbooking and recognize the small achievements I've made on a day-to-day basis. This also ties into the theory relevant to motivation, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Maslow suggested a pattern of need recognition and satisfaction that people generally follow, with needs being sorted into 5 tiers: physiological, safety, love and belonging, esteem, and self-actualization. As a consumer, these needs are met to various degrees, but all but self-actualization is often seen in marketing and culture. This can be attributed to the concept of self-actualization being quite abstract and subjective. Understanding this hierarchy allows marketers to target potential gaps in consumer needs, such as fast food companies appealing to hunger and drive for food. However, scrapbooking doesn't really fit into these tiers, best fitting in the top few tiers of esteem needs and self-actualization. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not a consumer in this content. Uniquely, the list project pushes me to trade my time for experience in efforts of self-fulfillment, social needs, and mental well-being. Depending on the chosen activity off my list, this may come with your traditional monetary transaction between consumer and product. When I was younger, my mum introduced me to scrapbooking. She used to spend time on the weekends creating a variety of cards and working on photo album pages. I always loved getting involved. Since then, I've always been on and off journaling, scrapbooking, or drawing of some kind. As I started developing my own tastes and viewing content online, the style of scrapbooking I enjoy has grown too. People learn from watching others through a process of imitation and social learning. This is known as observational learning. Social media has made instantaneous consumption of content, advertising, and modeling. The key components of observational learning are attention, retention, production, and motivation. The scrapbooking niche online is filled with posts of different styles, aesthetics, and functionality. So while I view scrapbooking content online, my attention is on how spreads are created and techniques used. I can then go and reproduce similar techniques in my work to experiment with new styles or ideas. Arguably, the motivation to be learnt here is the social success of creators receiving likes and views, which is intrinsic in nature. However, this motivation isn't a significant motivator for me, as I'm intrinsically motivated, as we discussed. Understanding observational learning is still useful in marketing, particularly with the abundance of influencers and trends online. Marketers can utilize this to influence media consumers into buying or wanting products, services, and modeling their needs of what they consume. Viewing content both inspires me and halts my progress. It motivates me to achieve a similar quality that I really like and work on my scrapbooking. However, it can be hard not to compare my work with what other people present. Related to social media learning, it also influences perspectives. Self-esteem and social comparison are important concepts to understanding how consumers perceive themselves and their attitudes towards advertising. As consumers, we constantly evaluate ourselves to others, and social media has made this so much easier. This pushes people to look towards products, trends, and lifestyles in an attempt to boost their self-esteem. The List project directly targeted my discrepancy between my ideal self and actual self. The ideal self is the conception of how one would like to be, whereas the actual self is a realistic appraisal of qualities one does or doesn't have. So my ideal self consisted of being extroverted, outgoing, sociable, skilled, and just a fun to be around kind of person. At the beginning of my project, I felt my actual self was more homebody, shy, anxious, and hesitant to change. This project has allowed great strides in achieving my ideal self, now feeling like I've achieved most of my initial idea. Moving forward, I have a second book for my university time, and I'd like to build on these goals further, while also striving for more active lifestyle and life experience. The concept of ideal self can also be influenced by social media, as discussed, which I find myself sometimes thinking about wanting to be like those people you see on my For You page. But I find I'm able to reflect and evaluate my actions so I prevent getting sucked down the spiral achieving non-existent perfection. This all links to my personality traits that have been shaping and developing over the past few years. The Big 5 personality model, also known as the 5-factor model, outlines 5 dimensions of personality and traits within individuals. These factors include extroversion, conscientiousness, openness to experience, agreeableness, and neuroticism. These traits allow further separation of types of consumers, narrowing down targeted audiences and effective strategies based off their personality and perspectives. So around 2018 to 2020, when I first sort of created this list, my Big 5 traits look similar to this. Whereas currently my extroversion and openness has gone up and currently look like this. Although in both instances I didn't score very highly for conscientiousness, I was able to recognize the fact and evaluate myself to kick off my motivation for self-improvement. However, it does mean that I do struggle to stay on task, stay organized, and follow through with my goals sometimes. But this is part of my new goals from doing the List project version 2. Other aspects of consumerism, my low score to openness to experience is very prevalent as I rarely try new products or brands. I stay with what I know and what I like. This is really prevalent with grocery shopping and types of brands when it comes to that. So my List project helps me push my comfort zone and try new things. Understanding these traits once more allows marketers to target specific types of people. In my case, branding is very strong for me, and I will be a continuous buyer for a specific brand if I've used it previously and know it's good quality.